Hello, my name is Gilbert Diaz, and I am a third year junior at East Stroudsburg University. And this presentation is geared toward athletes who are looking to increase their exercise portfolio by learning how to properly and safely perform a hang clean. Safety is extremely important in this video, and I will advise everyone who watches this video to carefully assess any potential risk that may occur from performing a lift incorrectly. Risk can be reduced when proper form and technique are applied. In order to apply such technique, me, the instructor, will guide you through step-by-step breakdown of a hang clean. Since this is a complex exercise, it is recommended that a beginner perform this with a more experienced lifter, or that an intermediate lifter takes things slow when attempting to learn and implement this new exercise. It is always recommended to take your time when learning new complex motions and to be properly warmed up before exerting your body. Before we even begin to lift, I would advise that any level lifter come prepared with the proper safety equipment. This includes and is not limited to proper footwear. As for proper footwear, I would recommend any running shoe or powerlifting shoe. In addition to weightlifting shoes, I would also recommend that the weightlifter also wears a weightlifting belt, since this will limit any strain that this exercise may inflict to the lower back, which is extremely important when performing such complex maneuvers. Now that we have finished our overview on safety, we can begin to tackle learning this new, interesting, and complex technique. The hang clean can be broken down into several different exercises. To teach the hang clean, there are some other exercises to learn first before diving directly into the hang clean. These exercises consist of a deadlift, shoulder shrug, high pull, and ultimately a front squat. One should master these exercises before attempting to perform a successful hang clean. The first exercise we'll be discussing when performing a hang clean is the deadlift. The muscles used in the deadlift help initiate the first part of the hang clean. The primary muscles used in this deadlift are the glutes, quads, and the hamstrings. Much of your power when performing the hang clean generated through the use of the legs. The legs push upon the ground to create a driving force upward, which an example of how to properly deadlift can be seen above. In order to walk through the deadlift exercise, I will take you through it in 5 simple steps. First, we're going to walk to the bar and stand with your midfoot under the bar, your shins simply hovering in proximity to the bar. Have your feet hip width apart, narrower than your regular squat, and have your toes pointed approximately 15 degrees. Now it is important to grab the bar, bend over without bending your legs, grip the bar narrowly while still shoulder width apart. Ensure your arms are vertical when looking from the front. Now we are going to bend our knees, drop into position by bending the knees until your shins touch the bar. Do not let the bar move away from your midfoot. If it does, start from scratch with step 1. Lift your chest. Straighten your back by raising your chest. Do not change your position. Keep the bar up, your midfoot, your shins against the bar, and your hips where they are. Now pull. Take a big breath, hold it, and stand with the weight. Keep the bar in contact with your legs while you pull. Don't shrug or lean back at the top. Lock your hips and your knees. This completes our first step of the hang clean. Now that we have discussed the elements to a deadlift, a video of me performing an example of a deadlift with proper technique. Notice that my back was straight while I was lifting, and that my feet were approximately shoulder width apart. It is important to keep your back straight through the pulling movement of this exercise, since that is where you can create the most room for error. Now I will give you a 1-minute intervention to perform what I have taught you. And once you have mastered this step, we can move forward to the next exercise. Ensure that you are using all safety procedures previously discussed, as well as the 5 initial steps to a deadlift. Take your time and breathe slow and steadily as you are performing this exercise. Once completed, either skip the rest of this waiting period or simply wait for the next segment to occur. Hopefully we have, at this time, mastered the first exercise, crucial to perform a hang clean. If not, keep on practicing and perform it a couple more times. If so, you are now ready to proceed to the next exercise. The next exercise discussed is going to be the high pull, which is essentially the same as a deadlift, but with an additional shrug at the top apex moment of the exercise. At this moment, you want to fully contract your shoulders, which will drive the bar far above a normal deadlift, also driving the momentum upward. This step of the hang clean is essential in generating the upward momentum that is necessary to facilitate the completion of the exercise. While you're explosively extending your hips and knees, ensure that you pull the bar up to minimal chest level. Think about spreading your elbows wide apart and pulling the bar back more so than high. This movement ensures that the bar is close to the body while also allowing it to explode upward, generating more momentum as you pop. Since we have now discussed how to successfully perform this exercise, it is now essential to implement your own version of the high pull. Ensure that you follow all safety precautions and that you follow step-by-step instructions on how to perform the high pull, while focusing on the explosion section of the exercise, since this is crucial to the completion of a hang clean. Take a brief moment to implement what we have discussed previously in the high pull portion of the video. Take as many attempts as needed to master this specific exercise, since it is essential to the driving portion of a hang clean. It is also recommended that you have a partner on standby to observe, critique your technique. Refer to the earlier segments of this video if you have any questions. Now that we have already mastered both the deadlift and the high pull, we are now ready to tackle the next exercise. The next exercise involves throwing or swinging the elbows under the weight while the bar is at its climax. This means that during the moment where the bar is at its highest peak during the high pull, that we are in turn going to throw our elbows forward, which allows us to catch the bar. In this next video, we are going to be observing my technique as I perform a consecutive deadlift, high pull, and elbow throw. This is essentially a hang clean. Pay close attention as how I explode and drive my feet to an erect position while simultaneously popping my hips and throwing my elbows. This allows me to catch the bar while it's at its climax. It is important that these movements are fluid, since each exercise is dependent upon the last. Notice how I explode up while thrusting my elbows forward. This in turn allows me to catch the bar. And after I catch the bar, I will be engaging in a front squat. The front squat allows us to stabilize our core while catching the bar. It's a part of most textbook hang cleans, but not necessary in our specific instructional video. If you feel like elevating your exercise, I would recommend adding this after successfully mastering the deadlift, high pull, and popping and catching of the bar. In order to gain a separate perspective, let's look at this other weightlifter attempt a hang clean. He is shoulder width apart, hands at his sides by the bar, with his feet also underneath the bar. Notice as he pulls the bar close to his body while beginning the deadlift, the first part of the exercise. This part is crucial since it establishes the momentum for the exercise. He then pops his hips and drives his elbows forward. Another crucial part of the exercise. This part is not easy and will require a lot of practice. He then catches the bar right on his clavicle. This is not essential, but a common form of catching the bar. The rest of the exercise he performed is not essential to our hang clean. That is a power press. But the hang clean movement is what we're observing today. Notice how he pops his hip and throws his elbows. This model shows a clear indication of why mastering each individual exercise is crucial when performing a textbook hang clean. Do not overlook the intricacies of each individual exercise. Ensure that you perform the proper safety techniques when trying new exercises in order to not hurt yourself. Have fun and be careful. Being safe and following the step-by-step instructions provided by this video will hopefully allow a beginner to successfully perform a hang clean. This is only the first step. Once you have mastered the hang clean, you will be able to implement other exercises. Other exercises include the front squat and the overhead press. Both can be implemented to a hang clean once the hang clean has been mastered. Take the necessary amount of practice to establish a steady technique before venturing onto more difficult lifts. And always remember to pop your hips and to be safe. Have fun lifting.